Hurricane-strength winds wreaking havoc across the Front Range. Gusts so strong they're blowing trucks over. At one point, closing I-25 up near the Wyoming border. Now look at how these planes were landing in the wind at Denver International. The winds forcing the pilots to do a maneuver that's called crabbing. There was a ground delay due to the winds out there earlier today. Up in the high country, a stretch of Highway 285 closed due to the wind near Fairplay.
That wind is why today is a first alert weather day. We have team coverage on the impact of that wind, and we'll let you know how long it is going to stick around. We start with first alert meteorologist Joe Rook live in Nederland. And Joe, I can see you're battling that wind right now.
Look, I'm a pretty big guy, and when we get these stronger gusts, I mean, I'm struggling to keep my balance. I want to explain what's happening. Why was this limited towards simply the foothills and high country today? Buckle up. This is the time I'd roll my sleeves up. What we're seeing right now is something called a jet max. The jet stream, it dips abnormally south, and that puts it directly over the state. That means thousands of feet up above our heads while the winds are whipping. But what happens in this circumstance is we get something called cross barrier flow. The air hits the mountains at the right angle. Once it hits it, it's got to go somewhere, and that's down. As the air sinks, it's accelerating. This is just the perfect storm that we are seeing, and then it gets funneled through the valleys. That's why the foothills where I am right now, I mean, it is cranking. What didn't happen, and maybe this is some good news here, it didn't quite reach Highway 93 west of Boulder, Fort Collins. We need a method to transport the wind. Oh, here we go. Bear with me for a minute. We need a method to transport these winds I'm standing in down in elevation. That didn't happen today, probably for the better. What I will say, our anemometer is going crazy right now. Still seeing gusts up to about 42 miles per hour. Now, Dave, what's the latest information? How long will these winds be lasting?
All right, meteorologist Joe Rook in the wind, and that extends all the way down to the Evergreen Parkway where it's blowing right now. Look at this, 54 mile per hour down in Broomfield, up where Joe was 49 mile per hour right now. So we're still dealing with the wind all the way down into Centennial and Parker. Here are the peak gusts today. Out at DIA, only 49 mile per hour, but hurricane strength, which is 74 and above, close to that or above that in Boulder, Empire, Jefferson. Golden came in with 83 mile per hour gusts, 85 at Berthoud Pass, and Tolland, which is a community just south of Eldora Ski Resort, 90 mile per hour up there in Gilpin County. So the high wind warning continues through midnight tonight for some of these gusts, and it does include Fort Collins, northern Weld County, all the way back into our Front Range, mountains and foothills down to Summit County, northern Park County as well. Sustained winds could be 35 to 50 mile per hour. So that's what we're watching through tonight. Weaker gusts for a bit after midnight tonight into tomorrow morning, but then another surge comes into play tomorrow afternoon. We'll talk about that. Along with the wind, there is some light mountain snow coming in tonight that could be problematic. And if you notice, temperatures are above normal across the plains, including Denver, where our high today was 61 degrees. So it's a downslope flow that kicks that temperature up, and that should happen again tomorrow. We'll detail the rest of the week. More wind and more warmth to be had between now and Friday in your first alert forecast.
All right, Dave, we'll be paying attention to that. Thank you.